conscious choice to take ayahuasca or LSD or whatever and choose and control the time and place and the company I'm in. But when it comes over me in an uncontrollable way, when I get an idea for a form or a painting or something like that, it's not something that I can control. And it's a similar process in that you go into a different experiential mode. And I found that we can sit here and talk about this and we laugh about elves and things, but in the real world, people don't like it. It's like Main Street, what you were talking about Main Street. If this happens to me and I feel like I really need to do my work because the muse is there, I can't say, well, the muse is here, I have to go paint. Somebody else empty the garbage. People get angry at me and say, that's irresponsible. There's no place for an artist or a seer unless you've got, say you're Terence Mckenna, so therefore it's okay for you to come off the wall because you're going to be funny and entertaining, but it's not okay for just, any old person like me to do that.
You're about to get what you came for. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You lose your job.
Well, then you can do what I do. The reason I do this is because I lost my job. And, no, I mean, I see what you're saying. I mean, it is problematic. If one person believes it, it's a psychosis. If two people, it's a folie à deux. 3, a cult. 4, a movement, and so on. What we're trying to do here is empower the meme, give permission, and say, you just got comfortable with gays and black people. Well, guess what? You're now going to have to elbow over one step further because there are all us lodies out here. And we're tired of being thought of as stupid. We're not stupid. In fact, we're smarter than you are. And, we're tired of being this is not the Cheech and Chong hour. So, and the deeper answer to your question about art is I think that these two things are basically spun together and are completely one and the same process. I mean, on a historical scale, the way I think of these psychedelics as they're catalysts for ideas. They are actually like enzymes. An enzyme, let me define a catalyst first. A catalyst is a chemical which makes a reaction go faster, but it isn't itself consumed in the reaction. And an enzyme is an organic catalyst. Okay, so psilocybin, these things, they're like organic enzymes for creativity, for the imagination. We have this peculiar faculty called the imagination. It's like a wonderful, omni-adaptable hand. It's an internalized hand. We use the imagination to grasp situations and to remake models of reality. And this is what's given us the one-up on the tapir, the cheetah, the gorilla, is, the imagination. Now, artists have always been, the carriers of the banner of the imagination. But it becomes much more cogent and pregnant with importance in the modern context because the whole cultural enterprise is becoming designed. I mean, I don't have to tell this to people from L.A. L.A. is one of the most heavily designed cities in the world. The entire cultural fabric, the coral reef of human accretions, is becoming an expression of art. And I think this is, we might as well talk about this now, or at least brush by it. This is where our future lies, in the realm of the imagination, somehow. I mean, I can't quite put all the pieces together for you this afternoon, but some afternoon I will. It's just not, I don't know what to say yet. It's too early. But downstream, and the technology is already taking shape, we are going to go into the imagination. We are going to live in a world that touches the earth no more lightly, no more heavily than a thought. And this is a reasonable cultural goal. Money can be made doing this. This is not sky blue stuff. We can retool the culture toward this revivifying of archaic sensation and make money at it and back off a little from this other thing, which is so tremendously destructive. And it basically has to do with turning it over to artists. People ask, what can I do? What can little me do in this onrushing planetary chaostrophe that has seized everyone? Well, I think the answer is cognitive activity, dance, poetry, painting, writing, computer graphics, code writing, whatever your gig is. But cognitive activity is our salvation. It always has been, and it must be now. There's no going back. Dream the dream. Yeah.
Don't you think that's what virtual reality is heading towards or trying to express? I mean, I'm curious what your opinions about the impact of virtual reality will be on culture.
Yeah, well, yes. Do you all know what virtual reality is?
I don't.
Virtual reality is a technology. Remember, you heard it here first. Virtual reality is a technology which is developing at lightning speed, and it basically involves a helmet and a glove. And you put on the helmet and you put on the glove and you throw a switch and you're in another reality, a virtual reality. And you can feel objects in this reality through your glove because the glove has sensors embedded into it which react to a complex computer program which tells the glove to bend as though it were gripping a ball. And then you feel a doorknob in the virtual reality and you open a door and walk through and so forth. And the people who are developing this have great hopes for it, clearly to make money, which it obviously will. But we here under this tree are sophisticated McLuhanists and understand that media always has a feedback loop into cultural self-image, and that we cannot put on a Dior gown without feeling like a party where that would be appropriate. And what virtual reality holds out the possibility of, that these people have clearly grasped, is we are going to be able to show each other our fantasies. Of course, yes, all the trivial ones first, but then everything else, you know. And here is a tremendous dimension in which art can function. Imagine if we each could show each other our dreams. What an enriching thing that would be for design. In other words, for the topological manifold of visible culture, because we see all these things in our dreams. But I think that this is only a trivial aspect of what virtual reality will make possible, because the people who are associated with it are no strangers, I think, to psychedelic perspectives. One of the strange things that happens in the DMT intoxication is this language which is seen, not heard. These elf-like creatures in this other dimension have a syntactical way of communicating which is visible. They don't communicate with sound, they communicate with light, which condenses into these crystalline, toy-like, semi-organic, self-transforming, highly colored things. Those are syntactic